Okay, guys, welcome back to our crypto quiz show. Do you even crypto? I am delighted to be welcoming really an industry heavyweight, Aleksander Larsen. This guy is, listen to this, the co-founder and CEO, as well as current chairman of Mavis, which, of course, you probably know best for Axie Infinity and Ronin Network. But beyond that, he's the founding board member of the Blockchain Game Alliance, and he's been in this Web3 crypto gaming space, really, which we're super excited about, for a long time. For 6 full years, he's been crafting it, he's been growing it, he's been developing it into what it is now, and continues to really revolutionize that space. So, Aleksander, I'll call you Alex for the purposes of the interview. I hope you're okay with that, but welcome. Thank you so much for joining our show.
Thanks, Matty. Excited to be here, and thank you for the kind words in the intro. I mean, yeah, it's been a couple of years. Excited to see what comes next, of course. Everyone's been saying that, blockchain gaming is going to take off next year for, 5 years. So we'll see if this year really happens.
Okay, Alex, let's get right into it. And we'll start with something, have a little bit of levity here for question number 1. I want you to guess the following logo. What company corresponds with this logo? You can see it here. Is it A, Augie Inu, B, Inu Augie, C, Augie AI, or D, Augie Inu AI?
I'm going to go for D, Augie Inu AI. I think with Memecoins, you just have to, smash in as much good stuff as you can. So, for me to be a buyer, it would have to be D, with some caveats that, of course, I'm not buying any Memecoins, but if anything, that would be the most interesting one for me.
I think it's a fair guess. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit tough out of the gate. The answer is actually A, Augie Inu, but just a silly question here to kick things off. Really, I could ask you about meme coins, Alex, but what I really want to get to here, and I think the viewers watching this would also like to ask you about your sense as far as emerging trends or technological developments, what you see over the course of the next bull cycle in Web3 gaming, in particular blockchain gaming. What are you excited about in terms of the near future in your industry?
I think it's a good and broad question. I think there's quite a lot of stuff to be excited about, but I still think that we have to nail the fundamentals. So when I say fundamentals, I mean get people excited about digital ownership in games and really show them what benefits that brings. So for me, I've always believed that players should own their data, or people more broadly should own their data. If you use Facebook, for example, you should own your data. I think it's natural that people should do that in games as well. But when you look at, for example, retail or Web2 type of players, they don't really see the benefits yet. So I think we really have to get to that, the basics first, and then you can get to all sorts of exciting features such as ZK, using that in games for Fog of War, and there's quite a lot of stuff from there. But yeah, fundamentals first, and then let's get to the fun stuff.
Okay, Alex, question number 2 here. Let's make it a little bit less obscure, I suppose. When is the next Bitcoin halving scheduled to occur? A, is it going to be July 18th, 2025? B, May 12th, 2024? C, September 23rd, 2026? Or D, December 5th, 2027?
Yeah, it should be May 12th, 2024, I think. I'm not much of a Bitcoin, maxi, I would say. Of course, I care about the Bitcoin halving, but it's just like another data point for me. Is that right?
Final answer?
Yes.
You are correct, Alex. It is May 12th, 2024, which sounds like a long way away, but really it's just a few months away. If you think about it, we're nearing the end of the year. Okay, not a Bitcoin maxi. I'd like to ask you about that subsequently, a little bit later in the quiz, but on the point of BTC right now, not a maxi. So from your perspective, what are your thoughts about the ETF and the importance, even if indirect, as far as its impact on the industry?
So, we of course track trends at Mavis, and we care about when there are bull markets. It's interesting to see when there's a huge influx of capital. I think the ETF is a potential new influx of capital into the market. I think we're already seeing that. That prices are going up. There's more excitement. I think it opens up more institutional investors to come into the space, and overall that's good on the journey that we are on for, I guess, crypto domination. It's needed. So yeah, I'm excited about it, but it doesn't mean that I'm buying it. I have some Bitcoin, but I believe in programmable money, so Ethereum is my weapon of choice.
Okay, Alex, so moving right along, we have another visual ID question for you. Here it is. Whose eyes are these? Do these belong to...
I know the answer. So I guess with 99% certainty, I'm pretty sure it's ZZ. So that's my final answer. I don't... Yeah.
Changpeng Zhao. I didn't even have to go through the options for you. We try to make these kind of low res and intentionally difficult, but Changpeng Zhao, final answer?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure about that.
You are correct, Alex. Look at that. Show of confidence. Very nice. So on the subject of, I guess, CZ and Binance, a little bit related to the last question I asked you, even if it's just indirect, what do you think are the effects of the Binance crackdown? You talked about liquidity entering the space, new investors, new money, everything that's happening right now with Binance. On the other side of the coin, is that a negative? What are your thoughts about everything that's happening with that exchange?
So I think there was a lot of uncertainty when it comes to Binance, especially from the regulated markets, the US. And I view this as a very positive outcome. I think it could have been much, much worse. But my experience with ZZ, like personally, I guess has always been good. He was a big help during the Ronin incident and as the recovery effort started. So I was on a call with him personally actually after that. So it was very always helpful and I think a visionary. So it's sad to see him having to step back in the space like that. But for the space as a whole, I think it's probably a positive that we got some closure when it comes to all the FUD that had been around Binance. Binance has been a close ally of Ronin Network and Sky Mavis for a long time. We had our AXS launch pad there. So yeah, good relationship there. And I guess, yeah, I'm good. I'm excited to see the closure. And hopefully, that it will move on to a more positive light when it comes to Binance, especially in the US.
Okay, Alex, next question. We're asking you about NFTs here. Specifically, what is the most expensive NFT ever sold as of 2023? Your options are A, Clock, B, Human One, C, The Merge, or D, Every Days, the first 5,000 days.
I actually thought it was the Every Days, but I think I might have to go with The Merge on this one. I think Every Days was about 69 million. The Merge a little bit higher, probably, but I don't recall specifically. So yeah, I think The Merge has to be my final answer.
Well, Alex, you're correct. I mean, I'm not going to delay the answer any longer here. You're correct. The Merge actually sold, and you're right. So Every Days by Beeple was 69 or so million, I believe, at the Christie's auction. The Merge clocked in at 91.8 million, but it's got that distributed ownership kind of model. So you're absolutely correct.
Like 20, almost something like that. Like it was POC, I think. That sold a lot of. Yeah, it's a different type of NFT, I would say, right?
Yes,
it kind of was like, yeah.
Yeah, 91.8 million. Pretty unbelievable. Oh, wow. What's your general take on NFTs? I just want to leave that open ended.
Yeah, of course, I'm very bullish on NFTs. I have many. I sold a few, earned some ETH here and there. I've been collecting NFTs ever since CryptoKitties, and I think I deposited, $200 and turned it into 100,000 or something like that. I thought it was amazing. But ever since then, I've been exploring in the NFT space, and Axies themselves are some of the most early gaming NFTs ever, and then highly valuable. I think one of those sold for over 800K as well, which is massive, right? I think NFTs is to me the future of the internet. Storing your game assets as NFTs makes sense. Storing unique data as NFTs. So, and I buy NFTs right now just to have them. I don't sell necessarily anymore. I just want to collect, and I want to support artists that are issuing NFTs because I believe it's a great form of patronage, and it's a great way to connect with communities. So yeah, I'm a big fan of NFTs. Of course, we build an NFT project and an NFT marketplace. So I'm probably not surprising there.
I wouldn't have expected much of a different answer. Yeah, imagine all of a sudden it's like, yeah, thumbs down for NFTs. That would be a bit of a surprise. Okay, Alex, next question. Kind of like Silicon Valley in the US, there is a crypto valley. Which European country is known to contain Zug, Switzerland? I don't have to continue, do I?
No, I think that's right.
You're correct. Yes. So Zug, Switzerland, a hotbed for crypto. You're based out of Norway yourself. Just I guess another general question. I like to leave them open-ended because I don't want to pigeonhole your responses in any way. But, whether or not we're talking about Web3 gaming, what's your general outlook for 2024 leading into 2025, the next kind of year or two in terms of this hopefully growing enthusiasm in the crypto space?
I'm bullish. I'm always long crypto. I never shorted any crypto my entire life. So because I think it's the future of the internet, it's an extension of the internet that we always needed. You can transfer money permissionlessly throughout to anyone you want in the world, and there's no censorship there. I think it's amazing. So of course I'm bullish, and I think we have many catalysts coming up. What I'm most bullish on when it comes to Web3 gaming is actually the whole onboarding and providing economic freedom to people around the world who has historically never been banked. And I think a lot of, particularly crypto investors, might misunderstand economic freedom for financial freedom. The definition of economic freedom is, anyone is able to transact with anyone they want around the world and actually own their own money. Financial freedom is, of course, about you personally. So I'm bullish and interested in economic freedom, providing that to people around the world through blockchain games, and then eventually enabling payments, for example, in real life for those people who have wallets and have earned something in real life or in games and then spend that in real life. And I think we saw that happen with SLP actually back in 2021, which is why I'm very interested in that use case.
Okay, Alex. So next question here. In the 2016 hack of a major Ethereum-based DAO, how much cryptocurrency was stolen? And the denomination we'll use here is in Ether. So was that A, 100,000 Ether, B, 1 million Ether, C, 3.6 million Ether, or D, 10 million Ether?
I actually don't know this amount, so I'm just gonna have to guess. So I know that they wanted to fork it, right? After the DAO hack, and there was a split that became to Ethereum Classic. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with B then.
1 million Ether, final answer?
Yeah.
So very close. Actually, the correct answer was B, 3.6 million.
Okay.
Which is worth a lot more now, of course. But you mentioned actually earlier that you're very bullish on Ethereum, and I kind of want to cycle back to some of that ETF news that we were discussing a moment ago. But if we were to discuss the BlackRock developments here, because of course they filed for an Ethereum spot ETF, that must make you even more bullish. And do you think that Ethereum stands a chance to outperform Bitcoin, perhaps significantly so, in this upcoming cycle?
That's very hard to say. I'm following actually Solana right now, and I'm seeing Solana is the funny thing is you see these cycles play out, and you see Bitcoin solidifying itself as store of value, I would say, and then Ether becoming programmable money, and then eventually where serious finance or DeFi is. It used to be the casino, where people were purchasing or participating in ICOs and just gambling on all sorts of coins, and then you see that progressively moving on to, let's say, BNB chain, and now that casino type of behavior is on Solana, where you see all of these meme coins coming up. I'm interested in DeFi and seeing what happens there on Ethereum. I think there's a lot of potential. But there's a lot of work to do left on layer 2s and scaling Ethereum, which has been in the book, has been a promise for ever since I was in the space 6-7 years now. It's always been it's coming soon, right? It might be Plasma, it's going to be optimistic rollups, it's going to be whatever. I think there's still a lot to prove, and until we see more real use cases for scaling layer 2s that actually work, that are decentralized, not have centralized sequencers, there's still going to be hard to overtake Bitcoin in a meaningful way. I think there's going to be challenges from Solana. But yeah, I guess that's my kind of cop-out answer. So I don't think yet we need to see more. I think Bitcoin is in a better spot in some cases because, there's no real expectation of future development. Rather, when it comes to Ethereum, the expectation is that people are going to keep developing it. There's going to be some breakthroughs. And it really depends on what kind of world you live in, right? If you think that, there's no new innovation coming, then it's, Bitcoin is the better play. But if you live in a world where you think about you're a techno optimist, as Mark and Andres would say, then probably Ether and Solana are better plays because they have the potential to innovate and, something more can come. I think it's easier to do that on Ethereum than Bitcoin, so I'm more bullish there. But Bitcoin and it, can also see something unique happen there. So it's hard to really say. It's I don't have a defining answer, I would say.
Okay, Alex, next question. Which cryptocurrency is often referred to as the, quote, Chinese Ethereum, speaking of Ethereum, due to its smart contract capabilities? Is that A, Ripple, B, Litecoin, C, Neo, or D, Cardano?
I actually thought it was something like VeChain. But out of those, it's probably Neo, because I think no one else has like the Chinese affiliation as heavily as, I guess, Neo.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You are correct. It is indeed Neo. That would have been a tough question if we included both Neo and VeChain as answers.
It would have been impossible.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I thought about VeChain actually, but VeChain did good back in 2016. That period was very hyped.
Yeah. So let me use this question to segue into a follow-up question about your thoughts on AI. Maybe some of the AI crypto projects that you're following, its impact in your space in particular, Web3 blockchain gaming. What are your thoughts about AI?
So of course, I think like everyone else, you have to be bullish on the future of AI. I think we have yet to see real use cases for gaming. You can create art, you can create maps easier. Some of these things make sense, but I think we have yet to see the real impact of AI in games. But I know that there are many teams that are working on it. But overall, for me right now, I'm not following that many blockchain AI type of projects because I think it's very hard to execute on one innovative thing, right? Let alone two. So it's like a force multiplier if you add those things, right? And it's like a good comparison, I guess, is actually AAA games. So when you think about the risk and the development time and how difficult it is to actually create a AAA game, and then you also add on that you need to have blockchain, you need to have token economy, you need to have creating communities. That is also incredibly difficult to combine together. So I think it's just like I believe in minimizing risk when you can and focus as much as you can on what will be the breakout feature of your product. If that's AI, you should probably only focus on AI and then maybe add some blockchain features later. For AAA games, you have to make a great, just having a great AAA game, making that can take 5 years. Mm-hmm. So if you're adding blockchain on that too, that's incredibly difficult. So I would probably just make a AAA game until blockchain stuff is more figured out. And I think it's the same thing for blockchain and AI. Like too many cooks in the kitchen, too many different new technologies.
Yeah,
it just increases the likelihood of failure. So that's how I see it.
Which rapper became one of the first major artists to accept Bitcoin as payment for his album
50 Cent, I think.
Animal Ambition in 2014?
I think it's 50 Cent. That's the only one I know. We did it very early.
You're, you know your stuff. I don't even have to continue. Yeah, you're correct. 50 Cent. So I guess you could argue that he saw the writing on the wall, 50 Cent, early enough and took advantage of that. If you're kind of, let's say, in that same mindset as 50 Cent was, I guess back in 2014, you have all kinds of new entrants coming into this space all the time. Crypto, perhaps as a subcategory like crypto gaming, blockchain gaming. What advice would you give to people sort of beginning their journey from like more of a career perspective, I suppose? And I'll ask you the same question later about investors, but for people starting off in their crypto careers, whether that's blockchain gaming or not, what would you advise as far as what they do?
So the great thing about crypto, I think, and Web3, it's very democratic in some case. Like you can join a Discord and you can talk to the founder of a project. You can get involved. You can learn a lot on your own. Like we're on the frontiers. There's no clear guidebook for what works and what doesn't work. I would say, you're starting to see something, but the potential I think is massive to have an impact just by being a curious and an engaged person and having something special that you love to do, right? So for me, it was gaming. I loved games. I loved communities. I wanted to provide value there. So that's why I got involved in games and blockchain. For other people that might have another thing that they love to do, and maybe they should find projects within those two niches. Because if you have something that you're exceptionally good at, and then you can combine that with, let's say, blockchain, there should be something in the space for you. Mm-hmm. Or you can find something brand new and just like get involved on the ground floor, get to know people, find your pack, and then maybe find some other builders who want to build on top of something else that's blowing up. Like there's so much potential, and even you can find some airdrops here and there. You don't even need money, right? You just need brain power and time. Mm-hmm. And the great thing about I think being early in your career and wanting to do something exciting, you have a lot of that, right? But things you don't have so much of might be money, connections, whatever. But you can still build those in the space, I think, if you are good at finding the right people. And I think that's where I was always quite good at seeing like, okay, these are the people that I should probably get to know. These are other people that are similar to me that want to do something maybe great. And I think there's a lot of potential to do that. Not be so focused on, I guess, making money immediately, but being more focused on learning and finding out if this industry is for you and meeting the right people. I think generally speaking is great. And if you can meet them in real life, it's even better. Travel to your local, meetups of whatever project there might be, and see if there's someone else who's wanting to make something, right? I think a part of what we wanted to do in Axie and Sky Mavis is just be in the industry and learn. And I think that's a part of why it became so successful, because we didn't have any ego. We felt like this is an opportunity to learn about a new space and then level ourselves up. And that's what I love about this industry.
Okay, we're at the penultimate question, Alex. So this European country has become a popular destination for blockchain startups and ICOs, offering a very rather favorable regulatory environment. So let's there are a couple here that may be favorable, but we're looking for the most.
Or Switzerland, one of those.
Well, so this will have to go through there are many countries, right? So let me give you the options: A, Malta; B, Italy; C, Spain; or D, Portugal.
Oh, I think it might be Portugal. I know that a lot of investors moved there because they had favorable rules. So out of those choices, I'm probably going to choose Portugal. Yeah.
Final answer?
Yeah.
So you know what? The answer that we had was Malta from the basis of startups and ICOs, but I certainly agree with you. Especially, I see ads served to me all the time about tax benefits in terms of relocating and gaining citizenship in Portugal as a crypto investor with a certain number of or a certain net wealth in terms of crypto assets. So a little bit of an ambiguous question. I think we threw one in there to be confusing, but I think you're absolutely right. So we're giving that to you. Portugal will say it's correct because I agree with your logic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess Malta also makes sense. When we were trying to set up a company, I think we might have set up one part in Estonia as well because they had also favorable. But it's I guess it's that regulatory stuff. It changes whenever these countries maybe make one small rule. So it's a hard one. You have to be a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. So yeah.
Okay, Alex, you're doing super well. You've got a lot of correct answers, so we're going to try to keep you on your toes a little bit, perhaps with this last question. We're talking about the 2020 Twitter hack, in which high-profile accounts were compromised, as you may recall, to promote a Bitcoin scam, flat out. Now, which famous personalities' accounts were targeted? And for these answers, A, B, C, D, we're going to have a combination of people. So which accounts were targeted? A, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Kim Kardashian. B, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and Oprah Winfrey. C, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett, and Taylor Swift. Or D, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Kanye West.
Oh, wow. I'm just going to take D. Because I guess Kanye would get wrecked somehow. That's my logic.
Final answer?
Yeah.
So we started on an obscure question. We end on an obscure question. It was actually Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Kim Kardashian, which was A, but intentionally trying to make it difficult to trip you up, just because otherwise you'd have a perfect score, Alex. So we got to keep you a little bit humble. You've done very well.
Thank you.
And I'll take the opportunity from kind of silly and obscure just to close on, if possible, the option of kind of picking your brain here. And I want to segue into the altcoins that are perhaps on your radar, or those altcoins that you're excited about for the next year or two as we kind of ramp up with this upcoming bull cycle. What are you excited about, whether that's Web3 or otherwise?
I'm bullish on Ronin. It's the best altcoin out there.
That goes without saying, right?
Yeah, but I have to say it. And then I would say, in the Ronin ecosystem, we have a lot of exciting projects coming up. I think the Pixels token is going to be quite interesting. But also farming, playing different games and getting those tokens early on at low valuations, I think, is a potential way to generate some wealth. More from an investor side, like if I'm looking at different things, I think Ether is still an altcoin. AXS, obviously our own tokens, I guess. I don't really buy other tokens than that, I can say. I'm very focused, like with things that I can control, because I know how hard it is to execute. And I think that the more I'm becoming an operator, the more I'm executing, the more the more difficult I understand how it is and how easy it is to fail. Mm-hmm. So I prefer to focus on things that are within my control. Ether is my most risky position, I would guess, because I think you're relying on a lot, and if something happens within the EVM space, we all get fucked, kind of, which is a big risk. But that's crypto, right? I think if you're like a true degen, being a part of Memecoin season or finding those like subplots, narratives will be good for you. I used maybe to do that, back in very early before when I had some time. But now I don't have time to do that. So I'm more of a kind of boring investor in that sense. I also buy like index funds and, houses, and it's a different thing, I guess, when you are at a certain level of wealth, right? You don't have to scrounge for every, alpha that you can find, right?
All right. So Alex, hey, very well done. Clearly, you know your stuff. Listen, I really want to thank you for coming on. This is a delightful opportunity. Again, you're a founding member, the CEO, the chairman of Sky Mavis. You guys may not know the name Aleks Larsen, but Axie Infinity, Ronin Network. And by the way, check out all of the socials and the websites below. We'll include that for Axie Infinity, for Ronin. Alex's personal Twitter handle, if you're interested. What can I say? You're a pioneer. You're a maverick in this Web3 gaming space. You've been part of it for 6 years. We've been following it. We at Altcoin Buzz are super bullish, super excited about Web3, crypto, and blockchain gaming. And you've been crafting it this whole time, improving it, and making it better. So thanks for joining us once again, Alex. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Matty, and Altcoin Buzz. Excited to meet you guys again in real life soon. So it's going to be a good 2024. I'm bullish, and I hope all the listeners or viewers are as well.